episode of Nothing But Raiders podcast is sponsored by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the #1 platform to browse, discover, and experience the best events in town, and all in the palm of your hand. From heart-pounding concerts that can make you dance to nail-biting sports games that can keep you on the edge of your seat, SeatGeek has it all. From exclusive deals and personalized recommendations tailored just for you. Use our promo code SRT and get $20 off your first purchase. So join the movement. SeatGeek. Get up, get out, and get tickets.
I didn't care as much about being respected as I cared from the standpoint of winning about being feared and being imitated. And then respect could come after that.
Yo, what is good out there, everybody? What's going on, nation? It's your boys. We in the building. Raider Hotspot, Ed Black, Sam Newton, aka what's going on, fellas?
Damn, I am.
What's up with the brothers? What's up with the brothers? You know, it's like early on the West Coast over here, man.
Yeah, I'm feeling that. In Vegas, it's hella early.
Well, you know what? It's kind of like the Army. I was in the Army, and they would say we do more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day. And this is already my second show of the day, so I feel you guys. Yeah, in terms of being early, but it's all good, man. So welcome to the Commitment to Excellence podcast. Darian Hopkins is not with us on this episode. Shout out to D, because he was working behind the scenes and got us hooked up with a whole bunch of stuff here. As you can see there on the left, or I guess would be the right. We got the topics that we're going to get into here in just a minute. But yeah, man, thank you guys out there for checking us out on YouTube through Darian's page, as well as Raider Hotspot, and of course the Shakeback Media Group's Twitter page, as I like to say on my shows, Twitter. And y'all go ahead and start dropping the comments in the chat, man, because we about to get real, man, with this Panther squad coming up. And Malcolm Kuntz, the word came out on Friday. We're gonna talk about that as well. So, hey, let's get into it, man. Quick Raiders-Ravens recap. We talked about it on the Nothing But Raider podcast this past Tuesday. Hotspot, let's get into it, man. The Raiders over the Ravens at the Big Crab Cake M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. Your feelings about the game and overall sentiment about what we did against the Ravens.
Man, so I got a chance to go back, watch the all 22, let things settle. And, I think the biggest impression I have from it is that we beat a really good team and we left a lot of meat on the bone. There was opportunities, mistakes. We can play better. Minshew can play better, even though he played really well. DA can play better. So, the fact that we were able to win on the road against a good team and there's still potential there is pretty exciting to me. That's what I got from last week.
And for me, I actually picked the Ravens to win the Super Bowl, so I'm pretty amped up about that. Black, what's good, man?
What's up, brother?
So your boy Minshew, Gardner Minshew, Pinshew.
Yeah, you know.
Balky.
You know what I'm saying? The Gardner did it.
For the win.
Balky Bartakamus, also known as Gardner Minshew, your boy, 30 of 38, 280 some yards, did have the score, did throw a pick. Davante Adams, 9 receptions, 110 yards with the score. Your feeling about the offense, because I know you had some things to say about the offense in the NBR podcast we did earlier in the week.
Yeah, I was representing the line. I think the offense did pretty decent. I think they're going to make some adjustments this week. I was hearing maybe try to help Zamir White get off. Because like simply like we played good enough to win, but we still don't know what our identity is because we want to still be like a running team. But I think we really responded well because it could have been a situation where if we lost that game, this season could have got away from us already, and we'd already been talking about a QB controversy in the next week or two. So I think this win kind of like staves that off for a couple weeks. So I'm happy about the offense. The line, I did a little bit looking more on the line because I'm wondering if I'm just being a little biased. We're middle of the pack O-line, but I think overall we did fairly good enough to go in and beat a respectable team on the road early in the morning. And I'm really happy about the way he responded, like by getting the guys ready, practicing early on East Coast time and stuff like that. So I think the offense did fine, and I'm really proud of them, really.
Yeah, it was really interesting to hear that they might be moving to more power concepts because, I was talking about that, we were talking about that in the last NBR, just like they don't, some players just don't look comfortable in this wide zone stuff. Andre James, Zamir White, some people just probably need to get replaced. But yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see what happens there. Shout out to the chat.
Oh yeah, the chat is always lit up. We're gonna get to some chats. We're gonna get to some social media comments here in a minute. But what I wanted to back up or piggyback on you guys was about Getsy and the offensive line and really the team as a whole. I think we should remember that, this is only week 2. And as much as we can see the flaws that are there, I mean, obviously there's going to be some time and some grace that we as Raider Nation need to give our team because of the fact that it's a new season, obviously. And usually from what we've seen in the early season is that the offenses are always a little bit of a slow starter. So once the offensive line gets healthier and gels, I think some of these concerns that we have might be put to bed, but it's good to be able to get that stuff out the way against a team like the Ravens. All right. Any other quick thoughts on the recap versus the Ravens?
Only the thought is JPJ is back for the offensive line this week, which I think is huge because flipping between Whitehair and Pete, we haven't really found that solution yet. Barnes looked good or okay over there at right guard, but left guard has been an issue. So hopefully we can get some reps from JPJ and kind of try to settle that in and have the same line for a while so that we can get that cohesion. So
Black, you got any quick final thoughts on the Ravens recap?
No, I'm looking forward to this week because I don't want this game to be a trap game. So I'm really focused about this game tomorrow.
Right. And we're gonna get to that here in just a minute. So Carolina, let's go ahead and get there now. And we were gonna go behind enemy lines with Jenna Matthews. She's the professional fan. That's her Twitter handle, as also her Instagram handle. Because of the fact that I can't seemingly calculate Eastern time, Pacific time, and Central time, I told her 11 o'clock Dallas time, which is 12 o'clock where she is because she's in Charlotte or near Charlotte. So she then said, of course, I have plans and I'm not going to be able to make it. But I did ask her to send in a video of her thoughts about the Bryce Harper. That's the Philadelphia Phillies. Bryce Young benching. It has not come through. Hopefully before the end of the show, I'll get it. And if we do, I'll upload it. But so let's go there. Bryce Young, I mean, he's been benched. Hot spot. We kind of talked about it on the NBR pod. What are we thinking is going to happen? Because I don't know about you guys. I've seen some reports that there's a chance that I shouldn't say a chance, but there's rumblings about Bryce not even leaving Vegas. And we know what that means. I've been frozen here for a minute.
Boy, you said a lot. All right, first, Sam about to go up. Sam, you muted, bro.
You want to let Sam take it?
I was about to say, you can tell I'm an old head because I can't, I'm easy to get trolled because I was like, what?
Hey, I'm just telling y'all, I ain't saying it's got legs. I'm just telling y'all what I saw or what was being mumbled or rumbled out there.
The first thing that has to be addressed is like, why now?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, didn't they just get a new coordinator? Didn't they fire the coach last year because he didn't have a good offense for this quarterback? And then they got a new coach with a new offense, and he was like, I'm gonna make it work with Bryce. And it's been 2 games. And then I don't understand the long-term vision. That's why I really want to hear from a Panthers fan. But yeah, my first thought was like, who in the league office paid the Panthers to do this, just so they can get a win versus or be more competitive versus the Raiders, because it don't make no sense for them as a team. From my perspective, I don't get it. So, yeah.
Go ahead, Black.
Yeah, from what I understand, they have new coaching staff, and your boy didn't do so hot last year. They didn't pick the quarterback, so they're not married to this guy. You know what I'm saying? So they 0-2. They're like, we don't have to go down this slippery slope with this guy. We can get him up out of here. And if he got the green light from the GM and the owner, like, hey, it is what it is, then they're going to pull the plug. But I don't care if it's Red Rocket, Red Robin, Baskin Robbins, Batman Robin, they're going to lose.
Red Robin got some bomb hamburgers, though, dog.
Red Rocket or whatever his name is.
Red Robin.
Yeah, it don't matter.
I'm just saying they got some bomb hamburgers at Red Robin. Well,
they do. They do.
Yeah.
They got the Red Rocket, so it can have Red Rocket, Baskin Robbins, Red Robin, Batman Robin. It don't matter.
Right.
because he gives them a chance, but they still got to play offense and defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that part. They got some players though over there. They they're not a lot of household names, but they do have some players over there. So we don't want to just underestimate them.
No, we ain't underestimate them, but you got to be focused with this Raider team because I know what they're capable of, and I also know what they're capable of. So,
oh, bro, for real, we are notorious for just making mediocre quarterbacks look like Pro Bowlers. So, but I don't think this secondary is going to fall for that. So, yeah, my boy Jack's not letting that happen.
Not Jack Boy. I call him Jack Boy.
Yeah.
Here, I wanted to piggyback on what Black said. Because it is obvious that they're using Bryce as a scapegoat, right? And they drafted him. This was Dave Tepper's mess, the GM there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the GM wanted the quarterback, but the head coach at the time didn't want the quarterback. And now the head coach that wanted the quarterback is gone. And the GM that wanted the quarterback is still there. And now the coach that's there has benched the quarterback that the GM wanted. Twice. It is I want to say this, and I don't like the cuss, but it is a shit show in Charlotte.
Yeah.
It is a shit show in Charlotte. I actually was able to commandeer. I like that word. I was able to commandeer the video from Jenna. And again, she is a Panthers fan. She actually has covered the Panthers, and I'm trying to get it to play here in just a moment. We're going to hear from her. She has like a 3-minute video or a 3-minute good God, what am I trying to say, y'all? A 3-minute soliloquy, and I haven't heard it. I haven't heard
soliloquy.
It. Yeah, that's what
Word
I
of
said.
the day.
Yeah, that's what it is.
All right, quick in the chat, type soliloquy in there. Nobody, so you can spell it right without googling it.
No spell check. No spell check.
Yeah, no spell
Let's see.
check.
No spell
My
check.
boy A-Train got this. Go ahead, A-Train. You got this. We got this.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. I'm trying to get it loaded, but until I get it loaded, obviously, Bryce, the era has ended in Charlotte, and I like to call. You know what? Let me just say this real quick. Teams that have their name named after a state, like the Indiana Pacers or the Carolina Panthers or whatever, I call them by the city that they play in. For instance, the Arlington Cowboys, they play in Arlington. They do not play in Dallas. The Indianapolis Pacers, the Charlotte Panthers, the Phoenix Diamondbacks, or the Phoenix Cardinals. Let's just do it that way.
Or the Santa Clara Niners.
Anaheim Angels.
The Anaheim Angels
in Los Angeles.
And they were
Santa
actually
Clara Niners.
the who?
Santa Clara Niners.
Santa Clara.
There you go. That's right. Santa Clara.
That shit ain't nowhere near San Francisco.
No, it's actually closer to San Jose than it is anything else.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so is it fair to say that the era for Bryce Harper in Charlotte has ended?
Well,
for Bryce Young.
Yes.
For Bryce Young.
What did I say?
Yeah, unless
you said Harper.
Unless your boy Mad Max get maxed out and put your boy back on the sideline and he come back in.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or it couldn't even be Christian Wilkins. Hey, you seen that big boy do a leapfrog over Max?
Yeah, that was
that's a big boy.
I did see that.
He's
absent of an injury like that, it's probably over with because that boy confidence was already on 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he probably done. I wouldn't, if I was him, I would be like, I'm not with this. Yeah, like trade me. So
for sure. And I'm interested to think what you guys think or hear what you guys think. If he is going to be unloaded from Carolina, right? Which he's got another 2 years on his deal. They're not gonna pick up his rookie option or his 5th-year option as that rookie contract. What do we think he can realistically bring back in terms of draft capital for somebody that might want to trade for him? I mean, obviously, I don't think the Panthers would be willing, or any other team rather would be willing to give up a first rounder for Bryce. What y'all think?
Mid-round pick at best. Mid-round pick at best.
What'd you say? Third,
fourth at best, I think.
Damn.
Because they devalued him by doing this.
Right.
Honestly. So, yeah, third is probably the best that they'll get, you know. I know there's a lot of teams that just didn't really have him on the draft board because of the overall size. I took him. I didn't even rate him. I don't feel like he has the bulk to play the position. Like it's not even a height thing. He's too slight, right? He don't have the frame, I don't think. And so, yeah, I mean, he'll probably be out there. Not something I would be interested in, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I agree with you. I wouldn't give up. I wouldn't give up a second or a first for him. And even if you could have got a second for him, you got the way y'all promoted him. You're not gonna get it, right? Because he like 2-16 or something like that. So I mean, like that's not really. I mean, he got too many negative things on his resume. Now, I feel like this. He played quarterback. You don't just totally lose it. You know what I'm saying? A new environment might give him a new sense of energy. He go play with a team, and then he come play the Raiders and have a good game, and then his career will jumpstart. You know how that go. So, you know, he gonna have action again. But the thing is he gonna land as like a number 2 quarterback that's just surviving, or you know, be like a Jacoby Brissett, or is he just gonna be like out of the league, or is he gonna turn it up? You know what I'm saying? That's all gonna be on his confidence level and what he decides to do. You know, whatever team he go to and how he get in a playbook, because he definitely looked uncomfortable. But I'm not sure Carolina is not the problem too, because it ain't like Carolina is a good place like to be playing football at for a quarterback.
That's the thing right there. There's a reason why a quarterback goes number 1 overall to a team, because a team was absolutely horrifically terrible the year or years prior to that. And as Bart Scott from ESPN likes to say, in order to be able to uplift the mess that's around you, you have to be a force multiplier. And Bryce Young is not that. I mean, he showed that he was that at Alabama, but did he really? Because of the talent that he had around him. He had the best set of receivers in the country. He had one of the best offensive lines in the country. So it's easy to sit back, and then you primarily are playing from the shotgun in Nick Saban's or whoever's offense it was at Alabama. And now you get to the NFL, you're only 4'8" standing on stilts. You weigh about 100 pounds with bricks on, soaking wet. And then you're behind an offensive line that absolutely sucks. And you're not as fast as those other cats on the other side of the ball. So all of that has caught up with him, because the Carolina Panthers, the Charlotte Panthers didn't put the things around him, or let me put it this way. They didn't have the stuff in place already around him, in which we already know that's not going to be there. But I think the mistake that was made, not so much them selecting Bryce Young, but making him the starter the way that they did that fast. That was a mistake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they're regretting right now.
Well, what other option did they have?
If they're in a go ahead, Hotspot. Go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely think they should have added a veteran, gave him time to acclimate, and not just force him into the starting role. You know, because at this point, it doesn't look like he was really ready to start and needed more time. But now that they've benched him, like, you can't go back. You see what I'm saying? And so, you know, it's kind of the same way I felt with AOC at the beginning of the season. Like, he needs more time before he's ready to take the starting reign, you know, of a playoff caliber team. And if we start him and then he fails, that's it. You don't get another shot at that. You don't bench a quarterback and then bring him back. That's just not a thing. Yeah, you know, I think that was a huge mistake. But now they already went down that road. So it is what it is.
And think about how much that franchise is going to be set back because of this decision. You know, you're looking at another. I mean, his contract was set for 4 years. So you're looking at. And then you are. Go ahead, Black.
You can't go too much further when you're already in the dirt, though.
But when you get 19 games from the number 1 pick in the draft, that's your return.
Yeah, but Carolina already been weak, though.
Yeah, and that's
like it ain't like they really went. They went from what 31 to 32 now. Like,
and there's nowhere to go but up. All right, man. let's get to some chats. Demarcus says, "What's good, nation?" Central Coast Raps 831. What's up? What's up? Salute to you, sir. Central Coast early bird gets the worm. So he's talking about you guys out there on the West Coast.
Man, but I went to bed like at 7:30 because I was up editing content and all that. And then I finally went into the group chat and it said, "Oh, we going on 9:00."
Oh no.
So I was like, let me get this good hour in and get back to it. So yeah, the early bird gets the word.
Yeah, and shout out to D right there. What's good, fellas? Sorry I couldn't be on the Let's have a great show, man. You are here. You're here in spirit, bro.
In the background.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna do my best Darian Hopkins impersonation in a minute. Hold on.
All right, cool. Am I tripping, or does Minshew remind you of Ken Stabler?
Uh-oh.
Go ahead. Get it, Black. Get it, Black.
Hey, I'm starting to hear more and more that he looked like a Raider, he sound like a Raider, and so I got my ear to the streets, and I'm hearing people starting to say that. So I'm glad that people are starting to come around to embrace him. But you know how we do. As soon as he throw 2 picks, then they're gonna be not his friend no more. So
I don't want to play with you no more. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
Right.
I've been comparing him to Gannon. I actually did a video on it when we signed him. I think there's a lot of similarities to their story, who they were before they got here. Actually, I think honestly, Minshew is a more developed and better player than Gannon was when he came to the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the, you go look at the stats right now, he's on pace to do some things, so yeah, we'll see. I think if he throws no picks in this game, he will set some sort of record for least amount of picks, in his first, 5 seasons or whatever.
Yeah, that and you know what? Let me say this about Gardner Minshew, because a lot of times, brothers, I think he gets a bum rap. I think he gets a bum rap. You don't go to a major college conference like you were at Washington State in the Pac-12. Say what you will about whether defense is optional or not in the old Pac-12, but it is what it is. But you don't go to a squad like that or go to a program like that and be in contention for the highest quarterback award in the country and not know how to play or have the moxie to be able to do it at that level. You feel me? So it's
That's the word, moxie.
Yeah, moxie. I feel like they're going to try to make that highlight of our home opener, Dalton, that can turn it around with Dalton. We can't lose this one. And we're going to talk about that here in just a second, because I think everybody on the panel and everybody in hashtag Raider Nation is fearing the narcotic that is the Oakland / Los Angeles / Oakland / Las Vegas / Las Vegas Raiders. All right, guys, I was able to get the video from Jennifer uploaded. Let's hear, and like I said, I haven't heard what she's gonna say, so let's see what she has to say in her assessment of what's going on in Charlotte. Here we go.
Hey, before you play it,
wait. Keep it. Carol, the professional fan. So my thoughts on Bryce Young's benching.
I said Bryce Harper again, didn't I?
Bryce didn't have a shot last year. I don't know that it's fair, but for the fans of the Panthers, it's fair. Bryce really did need to trust Dave Canales. And in all honesty, when you look at the teams who have that prolific history of championships and of steady football, the rookie they draft tends to sit behind someone who's been in the game. Like, look at Green Bay and how Jordan Love sat behind Aaron Rodgers, and how Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre, and how Brett Favre sat behind, I can't remember his name. So I do think it's fair. On top of that, Dave Canales is a quarterback whisperer. He was brought in pretty much to help Bryce get his leggings back underfoot with the Panthers. But after last year, I mean, there was no confidence from the team owner in anyone last year. So now that's gone down to the quarterback who doesn't trust his O-line. And I don't know that I can blame him because there's no consistency last year. There's consistency this year. But on the plus side, I do think that we've seen what Dave Canales has done with Baker Mayfield, Geno Smith, Russell Wilson. And I think this will be really a good thing for Andy Dalton. I expect a couple of touchdowns from Andy tomorrow. We saw how he performed in Seattle last year. I do think it's hard for both Bryce and Andy. Andy has said that he's been on both sides of this ball, and he understands how Bryce is feeling, and he understands how he feels, and he's excited to get a second shot. But I feel bad for Bryce. People really expected Bryce to pull a Cam Newton, and I don't know that Cam Newton could have pulled a Cam Newton in 2011 if he had the same situation that Bryce had last year. And what I mean by that is, if you remember Jimmy Clausen, aka Pickles, and crew, including Coach Seifert, just us in 2010. Yes, we had the first round pick and the 2011 draft pick, getting us Cam. But Cam was a generational player, love him or not, but you got to look at the numbers. You've got to look and see what he did, and he's actually really protected a lot of quarterbacks at this point in time by being who he was. But I think there were expectations on Bryce that were unfair. And I think there's always expectations on a rookie quarterback that are unfair. Bye. I think you guys are awesome. I hope you have a great show. I'm sorry I can't be there. Keep pounding, y'all.
Thank you, Jennifer, for that. That was awesome. So we're gonna react to that right now. Yeah. She said a lot. She said a lot of things that we've already talked about. Hotspot. What?
Man, all right. One thing is, it sounds like they played a quarterback too early and may have ruined them, shell shocked them. Jimmy Plunkett had to come back from that. So maybe it's something where, he gets behind a good line and stops being so gun shy. But, he can't be Cam, because you can't talk about two more physically different players than Cam Newton and Bryce Young. Like Cam Newton, you look at that dude, he looks like he was built out of marble to play a different position, and then they just gave him a rocket for an arm. One of the biggest physically quarterbacks that's played the position versus, somebody who's really, really just a slight dude. So it's a huge difference there. But yeah, I mean, she's talking about 2 touchdowns from Andy Dalton. Man, yeah. 2 touchdowns to our team. Jack Jones might get 2. Okay.
Jack boy.
Oh man.
I was like, what's that, Christian McCaffrey's sister or something? I mean, like, I didn't know what was going on because she was so nice. I thought she had some cookies for us and everything, and just so sweet. They said they nice representative. We still gonna kick y'all butt tomorrow. I don't care. It don't matter. She's so sweet. But yeah. I understand, when you're trying to rebuild a franchise, which we are all too familiar with, and you got to try to find a quarterback, that's always the hardest thing to do. And for them, they thought they had a quarterback and an Alabama quarterback, so they feel like those quarterbacks are ahead of the curve. But what we've come to learn by watching them play out in the NFL, that curve is not so ahead as they seem to think. So it's more of a prestige thing, or it's more of a, that they went to Alabama. So, I feel for them, but just not tomorrow.
Not this week.
Well, let me say this about Jennifer. Jennifer is all those things, Black. She is very sweet. She loves her teams. She is really truly a professional sports fan. And just like most of us that have begun to form and establish relationships and doing shows together that have never met in person. She and I have never met in person. Just like all of us have never met in person. But she was in Vegas the week, or she was actually covering the Super Bowl in Vegas the week of the game. And we were there the week before, and we were texting, and we just missed each other. But she's been on a couple of the shows under the SBMG umbrella. She's been on we do a women's history celebration series of shows in March. She was on one of those shows this past year, and everything that you said, Black, about her, she is all that. I mean, and just a sweet person, God fearing, and loves those Panthers, even though she might be a little bit delusional about Andy Dalton throwing 2 touchdown passes. Okay.
Yeah, she got CTE, but not the commitment to excellence, though.
CTE podcast, live, loud, and in color, man. What is going on?
Hit the like button.
Go ahead and shout out the information real quick so everybody can subscribe to y'all's channels, man. Let's get that in here. Go ahead, Black.
No, just subscribe to this channel right here. I have a channel, but one thing at a time. And so I want you guys to go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead, hit the red. You feel me in the corner in the bottom if you on YouTube, and if you on Twitter and all that. Thank y'all for hacking in with us. So you can find me here. I'm right here.
You said hack it in. Go ahead. What's your channel information for YouTube?
You can hit me. You can hit me at Raider Nation Hotspot. You know, on social, it's usually at Hot Beavers if you want to at me. But yeah, go check out the channel, you know, and yeah, for sure.
As a matter of fact, y'all, when we're gonna continue to talk, go ahead and as we're moving forward, go ahead and put your links in the chat. That way people can click on it and go right to it. All right. Let's get to the game itself. Raider offense versus Panthers defense. You know how it used to be, or how it is when you have like a number one offense versus a number one defense, or vice versa, and they use the term or the phrase the immovable object versus the irresistible force. Well, I think the force might be resistible for the Panthers because they have the 32nd ranked defense in the NFL. And the offense for the Raiders, the potential we know is there. So, Hotspot, Raider offense versus Panther defense. What are you feeling?
Yeah, you know, when you scout it, it doesn't look pretty for the Panthers. They don't really have the players on the D line to challenge, you know, what we're struggling with as far as the offensive line. Their linebackers, a little suspect on, especially, you know, the passing game, and we were tight end heavy. It just, you know, if matchups make fights, this might be one of them first round knockout kind of situations where your you know, your people shouldn't have put you in the ring. So I don't know, man. This is they got Jadeveon Clowney, so you got to worry about that always against the run. You know, they got some dudes. JC Horn is a player. You know, I like Michael Jackson, the corner. The corner. Pause. And then you know, Troy Hill's pretty good. So they got some players, but mostly in the secondary, and they probably going to be left out to dry because we have weapons, and I'm not sure they're able to get a pass rush if we, you know, put just a basic middling offensive line performance out there. So as long as we don't get obsessed with trying to just run, and you know, we realize we might have to pass to open up the run initially, you know, maybe get up some points. Put some points on the board before we start trying to grind the ball out and really establish that run. I think we should be all right. Just don't turn it over, right?
Yeah. It's funny because I have something in my head, and one of you guys say it or think it and express it, which is great. Styles do make fights. The funny thing is they're last. I'm pretty sure they're not going to show up last this week, because usually when there's like a QB change or a coaching change or something, then they play invigorated for a week or two, So I think they're going to play better, especially they're going to have a quarterback that's more decisive. He's not going to have ugly feet or happy feet in the pocket. He's going to be decisive. He's going to know where to go with the ball. And even if Carolina decide they're not going to call the right plays, we talk about their defense. I'm sorry. We talk about their defense, right?
Start over. Raider offense versus Panther defense. You got to start over.
Okay, yeah. So for the Panthers defense, being at their 32nd, our offense should dominate them, but they're going to play better this week. Their defense is going to play better they're going to play better because the offense also is going to keep them off the field. So it still play out the same way. The thing about the defense is if Zamir can't get cracking against this defense, oh yeah, you know what it is. You know what it is.
Yeah, it's time. Their D tackles are pretty weak.
But I did hear from Richie Incognito. I don't know how he got a job with the Raiders. How many games he played with them? Damn. But anyway, he was saying basically that they're going to try to implement some a different blocking a little bit to try to help Zamir because he's more downhill and he's still developing in the zone. I just hope he don't get his job took this week. That's all I'm saying, because we don't have to rely so much on the pass. I think we're gonna come out running the ball, and if we don't do if it doesn't play out well in the run game, then we're gonna go all gas, no brakes, and then Zamir is gonna have to get it how he live, and hopefully maybe he can get his chance maybe on the goal line or short yardage or whatever.
Go on and get down. How you live? You got on a Kwanzaa outfit now. I'm like this when it comes to the running game. This is the week for the offensive line to get into a rhythm. This is the week for the offensive line to begin the gelling process that is necessary in order for us to be able to put Gardner Minshew or Bronson Pinchot or whoever he is, this particular issue. Whoever he is at this point in time. There he is right there.
Yes.
So this is the week for that. And I'm like you guys, I hope that there's a such thing as being overcommitted to something just to try to prove a point. But what I love about this is the fact that we have good coaching in place. It's not like this is Josh McDummy, right? Who is going to continue to run the same drills and the same plays just to say, I'm the best offensive coordinator in the world. And Raider Nation, you did do right by hiring me as the head coach. So I agree 100% with you guys on that front. All right. Let's see.
One thing you did mention that I failed to mention, though, I'm glad you're holding us accountable. The O-line. If the O-line don't get busy this week, oh yeah, then they're gonna get everything that's deserved of them, because you gotta dominate somewhere. I mean, we can't keep making excuses, and you can't keep hiding behind Bronson Manchu Pichu's performance, because best believe he's not gonna play like that all the time.
Nope, he's not, because he needs that running game. And if I'm telling you right now, man, I got to play this because it is just what I like to do. Because when we're talking about things like this, especially with the narcotic that continues to be, y'all know what it is. We have to understand that we hope we don't hear people saying this about our Raiders.
You want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
We don't need to let this team off the hook, fellas. Period, point blank. We don't.
No, Denny Green.
We won't. It's a different team discipline wise. So that's why I don't expect that. I don't foresee that. I don't even fear that. I usually got one eye on that, always dealing with the Raiders, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go on and give them the proper respect that they've earned at this point and see if they going to fall in line with it. Like, because if they do what they're supposed to do this week, then we could kind of talk a little bit more confidently about our team, because it's easy to have a good team after 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Unless you're the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, did I say that out loud? My bad. Man, y'all, I have to get them because I have to get them because I'm in Dallas. All right.
You gotta get them.
Yeah. Let's move on to the Raiders defense versus the Panthers offense. Oh, wait a minute. Did we do? Oh, yeah, Raiders defense. And we kind of touched on it a little bit already when Jenna was talking about Andy Dalton throwing for 2 touchdowns, and Hotspot said he's gonna throw 2 touchdowns to us. So let's keep it going, Hotspot. Why do you think that may be the case?
Okay, so you turn on the tape, right? You watch what we did with Lamar just last week. There were a couple occasions on tape where we dialed up a blitz, and if it's anybody but Lamar Jackson, then we're getting the sack from the secondary. Merrick almost had one. I think he would have had it if it was just like a normal quarterback and not a superhuman.
Right.
And
like
Andy Dalton is. Yeah. So Andy Dalton is not going to run away from anybody like that. So I think as long as we don't get too crazy, and I think we're going to bring pressure in this game. And I don't see how they're going to block it up. They may resort to trying to lean on the running backs. The receiving core is actually not bad. Deontay Johnson's over there, Thielen's over there. They took Xavier Leggett, who I like in the draft. Even Jonathan Mingo is physically, a good player, a little bit better than people think. So not, it's not like big names or anything besides maybe like Thielen. But they do have some players over there. So we need to, just play fundamentally sound football. None of them the crazy mistakes. Don't get too overzealous with the blitz stuff early because Andy Dalton is a pro quarterback. But I think eventually, the pressure, and the overall talent of our defense will just start to overwhelm them. And they're going to have a lot of, 3 and outs and their defense will be tired. And, so I think it's going to be a real heavy lift for him. And as long as we don't let, Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders run all over us, I just don't see how they put up enough points to win the game.
Black, let me ask you about the Raider defense versus the Panthers offense, because we got the word on Friday that Malcolm Kuntz is indeed going to be out for the year. How big? He's going to be out.
You actually got that word earlier because I told y'all that.
Right.
My bad. Let me give credit where credit is due.
That's why I never get my hopes up high about that. And if you're going to ask me how do I feel about it, it's like, well, in this situation, you can't miss what you didn't have. So we don't know what he was going to be this year. But I think we do need to do something about that, though, because at some point, they're going to try to figure out Max and Christian, right? So that means somebody else got to step up too. And our D-line is we got depth. So so we need to have somebody, make a name for themselves, you know what I'm saying? Earn their check and, see what it do. So I always fear that we always play down to our level of competition. And I just hope our defense don't do that this week. So that way, let's see if our offense can reward the defense this week by giving them some breathers with good sustained drives. Then, Gutsy could do his thing and get his feel for things. And then, the defense go out there. We get a lead. The defense hold the lead. Everybody get the strip.
Look for, I think the player that may be stepping up, and so far I've seen step up on tape is Adam Butler. shout out to Adam Butler playing like a Pro Bowler right now.
Mm.
Like he is actually balling. So, keep an eye on him. All the hustle in the world, running dudes down, at D tackle, on screens and just everywhere.
Bruh.
Everywhere. So, and then here goes Tyree thrust into the spotlight again. Tyree Wilson. He's back this week, right?
Is he?
What's the latest on his What's the latest on his health though? I mean, is he back or is he just back?
He's fully cleared to play. They held him out long enough to make sure everything's good. He should be ready to go, get all the snaps, that he earns or whatever. And I actually liked how he played in the first game. He made some plays. He actually caused Crosby's first sack with the pressure that ran the quarterback into Crosby. So, excited to see where he picks up. I have a feeling that we might be talking about him differently in the next couple of weeks, just based off of word on the street. So we'll see.
Yeah, word on the street is always the bond. But I like that assessment. Yeah, I like that assessment because Raider Nation. I just talked about it on my my Shakeback Sports show on the BGC Sports Network, 12s and 6s, 1s and 7s, right here, Saturday and Sunday. About Tyree and how we need some good news regarding Tyree, and I think Hotspot, you just provided that for us. And then another NBR Darion says, of course, John Jenkins is playing well too, and that speaks to the depth that you guys were just talking about in terms of what we have on the defensive line. So I want to see Tyree get in and realize the potential that made him the draft choice that we made him 2 years ago. And if that's the case, we could be dealing with another problem next year, but maybe not so much, because this was the year for Malcolm to really make a mark for himself and possibly be able to test free agency and get a bag somewhere else. But if he's injured and cannot play, then obviously his value is going to go down some. And then that gives us a good problem to have with Tyree playing at a high level and then Malcolm coming back. So that's awesome. That's awesome right there in itself. Shout out to Darion once again. There is his link for this particular channel. I need to put my stuff in there too as well. So we'll get to that here in just a second. But let's move on to the next topic. We got about 7 minutes left to go in the show because we want to keep this thing at 60 minutes or less. Should we be concerned about what? Black.
Yeah, I already said it. Just us, just playing to the level of competition. Not drinking our own Kool-Aid too fast. You know how when you was a little kid, you drink the Kool-Aid hella fast and it be all up here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talk about, can we have some more? And the glass still got a little bit in there still. So I just hope we don't drink our Kool-Aid too fast. But that doesn't mean don't build off our confidence, because the way our team is built is off our confidence. So I want to continue to see us not have a bunch of penalties, because if that is a trend for us, we're going to be in a lot of games. So that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think my worries are twofold, basically. Like, I don't want to have us get so caught up on trying to run the football that it's 9-6 somewhere in the third quarter, and we give them a chance to, steal something when we've been dominating the game, right? And I also want to see that Getsy learned from what happened there, and that we don't just go back to being this run conservative sort of thing, and it wasn't just an aberration because the score got to a certain point and his back was against the wall, right? So those are my two concerns, right? Otherwise, not too much. It's the Panthers, y'all.
Hey, Darian. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
Darian
said should be concerned about Andy Dalton knowing He is 4-0 against us.
There he is right there.
You know, I mean, if it was the same 4-0 against who though? You know what I mean? Yeah, and this ain't the same Andy Dalton either. So
Man,
yeah.
Red Rocket, Booster Rocket, Rocket Ishmael. I don't give a damn.
Rajiv.
Pocket Rocket.
Yeah, Pocket Rocket. It ain't gonna work tomorrow. It ain't gonna work tomorrow.
All right, so here's what I'm thinking, guys. Two things. Number one, that 4-0 Andy Dalton versus the Raider thing means absolutely nothing.
That means something.
That just means something. No, it doesn't mean nothing. I'm gonna tell you why. That's just like Cowboys fans saying we have 5 Super Bowl championships, but the last one has got so much rust and dust on it that nobody cares because none of those players are here. None of those coaches are here. None of the fans that are saying that now were even here then. So that's why I say it means absolutely nothing. Now, if you are one that believes in superstition and all that, then yeah, I can see where you're coming from because I need to put on the same sock that I had on last week when we beat the Ravens, and I need to make sure that I put it on the same way I put it on the last time. I get that. But still, the game is being played between the goal line and the goal line, or the back of the end zone to the back of the end zone, and from one sideline to another, which is 120 yards one way and 53 and a third yards the other way. And if ain't none of those coaches going to be on the sideline, if none of those players are going to be in uniform on Sunday, it does not matter.
Yeah. AJ Green ain't walking through that door anytime soon.
AJ Green and AJ Green never played for the Panthers.
No, but I know you said Andy Dalton. So.
Yeah, I know. And AJ,
what the problem was.
And AJ, he did used to burn us too, dog. He did. So, with that being said, the other thing that I was going to say was this, is that I'm not so much concerned as to what the Panthers can do or what they can't do. Our focus has to be on us and us only and what we can do and what we need to do. And if the preacher, that being AP, is preaching to the congregation, which is us, the fans, regarding his choir, which is our team, and we all fall in line with the message, then guess what? We're going to win. And speaking of just that, let's just go ahead and get to the predictions so we get up out of here. Game score predictions. Hot spot. What you got, player?
It has not changed. I said this last time we talked about it. I got a 31-3.
That's Raiders, right? That's Raiders, right?
Raiders win. Come on, bro. Wow. Listen, if we lose 31-3 to the Panthers, I may not come back on the show. No, but 31-3. I think defense scores, and that's how we get up over 30. But yeah, that's my opinion.
All right, Black.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my same prediction. 24-14 Raiders.
And because I have old people problems, I don't even remember what my prediction score was from the NBR podcast. But what I will say is I believe we will win this game, and I don't think it's going to be the blowout that some people are predicting, but I don't think it's going to be as close either. I'm going Raiders 27, Panthers 10. So when we come back on Tuesday, I'll gladly play you Tuesday for a lap dance today.
That's a lap dance.
I like that. You get that burger. I can get you a burger, but damn.
No, I like the upgrade. VIP me.
All right. So when we come back on Tuesday with the recap of this game And maybe we can get Jenna back. Maybe we can have Jenna on for that, for behind enemy lines wrap up. We can see where we are with what we saw, if we're going to be crying or if we're going to be laughing. Because you know what they say, the same thing that makes you laugh makes you cry. And that is the narcotic. That is the Oakland / Los Angeles / Oakland / Las Vegas Raiders. Shout out to Go ahead.
No, I'm about to say, what's pretty dope? I just was looking at this. Did you do the whole being the shield on purpose? Because the way you looking like the mascot right now, and I love the Raiders. I love the A's. That you're gonna always be my favorite because you got that. Like, I love the A's, but the way you sitting right
Las
there,
Vegas A's.
Yeah, the way you sitting in there, it kind of looked like you playing it that way, bro.
Guess what? If I did plan it that way, and if I didn't plan it that way, rather, I wouldn't tell you.
Hey,
There you go.
Always leave the audience wanting more. That's right. All right. Final thoughts, Black. Or was that your final thought?
that was my final thought. I know y'all tired of me now.
No, anybody tired of you, man. You might be tired of you. You might be tired of yourself, but we good. Hotspot,
Right.
final thoughts.
Yeah. Tailgating this Sunday. First home game. I'll be out there tailgating. Come see me. Starts at 9 a.m. And I'll be at the game. And let's fucking go. That's all I gotta say.
Right. So
right.
you're gonna be at all the home games?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Mhm.
All right. That's a bet. All right, man. We gonna get up out of here. I don't have any final thoughts. Just hashtag Raider Nation. Thank you guys for checking us out and participating in the chat. We are the illest fans on the planet, and I don't care what sport it is or what level. We are the illest. All right, man. It's time to go. For Black, for Hotspot, for our leader, our fearless leader, Darion Hopkins, who had to punch the clock, man. It's your boy Willie Epteen Jr. Y'all stay safe. Y'all hug each other. Y'all love each other, and we'll holler at y'all again real soon. Peace. We out.
I didn't care as much about being respected as I cared from the standpoint of winning about being feared and being imitated. And then respect could come after that.